Hi, I'm Steve Cosmic. I'm an inventor and a filmmaker. And today I'm going to show you how to make my pizza box camera slider. To make it, you're going to need a broom or a mop. The handle actually, take the top right off, comes off nice and easy just like this. You're going to need a pizza box from a large pizza. That'll be your major expense, unless you get one like I did. I paid 75 cents for this from someone at a pizza joint. You're going to need a little tripod. This is not the type I recommend, but it's the type I have right now, so I'm going to use it. I recommend the one with a ball head so you can tip it sideways as well as up and down, but this will work fine for what we're going to do today. You're going to need some tape, packaging tape. This is from Staples. I suggest you get the best quality that you can. It's the thickest they have. It's very sticky. A tape machine like this makes it a lot easier to use, but you could get by with just peeling it off the roll. You're going to need some scissors, a knife, a jar full of water, or maybe you got a jar of pizza sauce. You could leave the pizza sauce in it, or, well, use water like I did. You're going to need a lid from a plastic container. This is from yogurt. And that's it. Oh, you're going to need some string, a heavy cord, something like this. About, I don't know, it's probably about 12 feet or so, something like that. And away we go. What you want to do is open your pizza box, place your little tripod inside the box, like so, and we're going to mark around this spot here, something like this, and you'll see it's just to mark that spot where the legs are. See it right there? Can you see it? Okay. Then, next we're going to get a little bit of cardboard, something like this, and we're going to tear off a bit of it here, something like that. We're going to hold this cardboard along the edge of the pizza box like this and draw a line along here like this, something like this. And we're going to cut along that line with the scissors. It's very important you measure this quite accurately. The length doesn't matter, but the width is quite important. What we're doing here is we're going to make sort of like a little column that will support the tripod inside the box. If we put the tripod on top of the box without support inside, it would have a tendency to kind of bounce up and down a little bit more. By putting little columns inside there, it'll be a lot stronger. So we're gonna first make sure that we've got it exactly the right height as the edge of the box. It's very important. Let's see, I've got it a little bit lower at one end, so we're gonna throw that part away. It's very important that it not be higher. If it was higher, when closed, there would be kind of like a little bulge in the box. That would create a low point on the bottom, which would enable the slider to sort of fishtail and swivel around. We don't want that. It's got to be exactly the right height. Then we simply fold it up a little bit, something like this. I'm going to use my handy little tape machine here to create what I'm calling a little column, and that's going to be quite solid. It'll be under the tripod leg, so we're going to put that there for now. make another one. Okay. Cut this out the same. Curl it up. A little bit of tape here. Make another kind of a little column here. Something like that. That's good enough, just like that. Like that. And we're going to tape them in place over here. Just to tape back a bit. You see that? You can use it on a table too. Okay, you can see it better here. This is where I've marked the where the bottom of the tripod legs will be. They'll be over that. We're going to get this like this. Place it there. A bit of tape. And then put it right over the top. And down, something like that. We're going to be putting quite a bit more tape here. It doesn't have to be no precision to any of this really. Put this over the top, down. Something like that. It'll stay in place because the lid will be pressing down on that after. We're going to do the same thing over here. Next, we're going to insert this yogurt lid. This is very important. This is going to be going in a place where later the pole or broom handle in this case will be pressing on here. This is very important too. It keeps the cardboard from being worn away, especially on pavement and that sort of thing. And it also sort of spreads the load out so we don't have a really hard spot that's pressing in one place, which is very important. We want the load kind of spread out a little bit more. So we're going to tape that about there. Some more tape. And use a longer piece on this in this direction here. And we're going to put a little more too because there will be a little bit of pressure on that. Next, we close the box and we're going to tape it closed. It's important that the box be taped quite tightly while you press down. We don't want any sort of movement with the box opening and closing a little bit as it bounces around a bit. So push down here as you tape. Make sure the tape goes underneath around the back a bit so it holds it really tight. And I'm going to pull that up and push over as well as push down here. Do that. We'll do that all around. And what we're doing is sort of making the box really tight. You see there's a little space there. We're pushing in and downwards as we tape. Down and over, push down there, around there. And next I'm just checking that these are the reinforced places underneath. We're going to tape our little mini tripod down here. Actually, I'll put it this way, I think, so I can work at it from the back there. Okay, we're going to put it right there, just something like that. Tape it down. And what I do is the first couple little pieces of tape, I don't try and get them too good. We're going to be adding a lot more tape to it. Put that around, something like that. And something like that. Next, we're going to get really quite serious with the tape here. We want to remember that this is holding our camera. If this came off here, our camera could fall down. So I'm pulling out quite a bit of tape here. I'm going to make this fairly long, right over to there, like so. Around, and so. Make sure it goes under the box a little bit. This one, again, quite long. Going over there, and around, down here, under the box a little bit. This tape is quite strong. I do not recommend getting any cheaper tape. Get the best kind you can get. Okay, you can see that's quite strong. With the weight pressing down on it, it's actually quite solid. Okay. Coming along. Next, we're going to kind of figure out where to put a little hole in the box. Remember, this is going to press through the box onto the little yogurt lid. So it's right about there. I'm going to use a knife to poke a hole. I'm going to saw a little hole here. Now we got the little piece stuck in there. I don't think it'll hurt anything anyway. We're going to take it out. See, we've got a nice little hole. And I'm just checking. I can see the yogurt container lid right there. It's quite nicely in place there. Okay. And we're almost done. An important part of your film rig is some weight at the front there. We want the weight as low as possible, and we want it to stay in one place. So the simplest thing to do is just put your weight there. Later, when you're using your camera slider, you can experiment with different sizes of jars, larger, smaller ones, and so on. Next, we're going to cut this up, cut a hole here. And I'm making it a little bit smaller than the size of the jar. I want it to be a snug fit. I don't want the jar to jiggle around. If the jar jiggles around, it could contribute to a jiggly picture. So that'll go in there. See that squeeze? Oops, a little bit too small. I don't know where. I think this side needs to be rounded a little bit more. A little bit off that side. And maybe over here. I think it'll squeeze in. It squeezes in. So there's the pizza slider, almost, not quite. Next, we want to attach our strings that we pull it with. It's important that these strings be in the right place. They should be about, it looks like about 3 inches to me. We're gonna make a hole here. That's what 1, 2, roughly 3 inches. We're gonna make another one over here. Make another hole right over here. And again, we're measuring about 3 inches. You can see that that's about 1, 2, 3 inches. We're going to make a hole right about here, and another one. You see it here, one about here. And we're going to use our little knife, cut a little hole like this. You know what, I'm going to take this jar out for right now. Tip the box up and cut a little hole over here. Jiggle the knife a little bit. And we'll do the same thing over here. And over here, this was an extra large pizza, supposedly. Hope I don't cut myself. Okay. Okay. We're going to attach our string to it. I'm just going to push this in here. Hope I can pull it up somehow or I can see it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to cut this hole a little better. Get that piece of cardboard out of the way there. That's a lot better. And twist the knife around a bit. There we go. I'm going to push now. Clean out this little piece of cardboard here. Okay, now we're going to push that in there. Pull it up, tie a knot. And I'm going to tie the other one. I think this string is a little bit long. I'm going to tie it. I'm not going to use it the full length. And just to make things tidy here, I'm going to stuff this loose end in the box. There we go. Now, we're almost done. Another important thing to do is to put tape on the bottom. It will actually slide better on a wooden floor with just cardboard, but it tends to fishtail a little bit, kind of jiggle like that a little bit. I found that it works better if you put tape over the entire thing, so we're going to do that now. Okay. Now the other reason for putting tape over the whole thing is that it will be more durable when using it out on pavement. Okay. And it also works a little better on carpet. We're going to use it on carpet too. So the tape is good for 3 different reasons. And we're ready to give her a try. Put the jar back in. And there we have it. Now, depending on the weight of your camera, you can adjust the slider by adding more or less water here, or a larger jar or a smaller jar. You can also use a sandbag. I've made one here out of a sock with 2 small bags of sand inside. They're plastic bags taped up, and you can put the bag over front if you wish, or around the camera like so, and pull it that way. You just got to experiment a little bit, but it does work very, very well. When pulling it, it's important to make sure that your hand does not go from side to side, because when that happens, the slider will get a kind of a fishtailing motion to it. It's important to keep your hand rigid and to squeeze the string very tightly. You can use a glove perhaps, or wrap a small cloth or something around it if it slips in your hand. And then you just pull. You can do it walking backwards, or you can walk this way and use 2 hands if you like. And when pushing it, you just push in a straight line. Do not try and steer it very much. If the camera seems to be pointing a little bit off to the side, do not try and correct it with the stick. Instead, just adjust the camera on the tripod like so until it's going exactly the way that you want it to go, and push it that way. It's very simple. It works great.